Hi everyone. Today we're going to take this handle. It's on this La-Z-Boy rocker recliner, and we're going to reattach it on the other side of this chair. This is to accommodate my mother who had shoulder surgery, and she can't use this handle here on this side to lift up the recliner leg. Now, in order to make this work, this handle right here is attached to this rod, and we're going to have to remove this rod out, flip it around to go to the other side. Now, one of the tools you're going to need is a T30 star socket. Also, take a picture of your mechanism on that bar there for where to put the cotter pins when you replace it. Now, take off this handle. There's a little star nut right here. That's what that T30 will come in. There's also a nut right over here that you're going to remove later on. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a permanent marker and we're going to label this bar. Labeled the area where the handle attaches. I labeled the top portion that's going to be facing the ceiling. Inside, we have a cotter pin over here, and the hole that's going to be where the cotter pin is going to be located, I'm labeling it as the C pin. And then we have a little M-shaped attachment device here. It's kind of like a pin setting for the bar, and I'm going to label one of the holes as M pin and the other side as M pin. And then where the hex nut that holds the spring to the bar, I'm going to just label it as hex and put an arrow there. Okay, the next step, folks, is to take the spring out that allows the footrest to be extended. And the way we're going to do it is we're going to put the handle back on, not screwing it back on, just enough so that we can extend the footrest out. That'll release some of the tension on the spring mechanism. The next thing you're going to need is a spring release tool. I'm not going to buy one, so I made one. So I got me a little dowel stick here, and I cut two little notches out here so that I can fit a little hook inside of there. This hook comes on a bungee cord here. I'm going to just take it out of there, and we're going to put this hook into the spring, and we're going to use this dowel stick and press down to release the tension on the hook to the spring to release it. Okay, kids, check this out. This is the easiest way to release this spring here. Put that hook right on there, on the edge of that spring. I'm going to put my little dowel stick in with the notches into that hook. I'm going to push down, and that spring comes right off. Just as easy to get it back on, too. Once we have that spring released, we're going to bring the footrest back in. That's going to allow us to get to this little hex nut right here to undo that mechanism. The next thing is to remove that M pin that's holding these two little devices. I'm going to slip a needle nose plier in on this side, and we're going to bend this tang up so that it comes straight out of the bar. It doesn't take very much to do that, and then this thing will slide right on out. Put this off to the side. Get this cotter pin in. Since most of the attachments are pretty loose, we're going to slide the bar over this way, doing it like that. And then we'll have real easy access to this cotter pin so we can straighten it out and pull it out. There we go. Now, before pushing the bar through the chair to remove it, go over back to this side and push the bar almost all the way through. It'll put pressure against the end of the chair on the other side, and then you take yourself a little pocket knife and cut a hole in it. And that'll be the spot where the bar is going to go in on the other side. Okay, now we're ready to pull the rod through. We're going to send it through that way towards where the handle was before. Now make sure you be careful. Don't lose this little plastic cap right here. There's a little piece that'll come through also. And this little device here is going to be a little hard to get through, but if you jiggle it a little bit, you'll be able to get it all the way through. All right, here we go. Now before we put the bar through, down on this end in the hole which goes out to the handle, there's a little plastic uh, piece in there that guides the bar. There it is right there. It has a little square center to it. And we're now going to replace that and place it onto the other end where the bar is going to come through the other hole. There's already a hole pre-drilled on this other side. Okay, we're going to have to make some modifications to make this work. So this is the way the rod normally goes in through the chair. And we're going to be flipping it. Now remember, the hex nut that screws in is right over here. So when we bring this back around, now the hex nut is over here. And if we use the attachment here the same way, it'll be in the way of the other uh, attachment to the leg extension. So in order to get it to work correctly, we're going to have to use this hole. And mine didn't come pre-threaded. So what I had to do is I had to put the screw into the hole there. And then I got a ratchet with with my hex nut driver, and I went and threaded that hole there. And so that's the way I got an extra hole put in there. Now another modification we're going to need to make is to this bar here, because it's too far over this way for it to fit where we're going to have that little M pin system. And then down here, you'll see that there's an extra hole right where my finger's pointing. We're going to move this bar over to here. There we go. See, we moved it from there. Now it's over on this side. So now it'll fit. Then we're going to want to relabel. Remember, we put the hex, the M pin hole here, and the cotter pin hole, and where the top was. Well, when we bring it back through the other way, we're going to relabel this other side now. So this is the new top right here. That was the old top. It's upside down now. So new top. This is the new space where the cotter pin will go. These are going to be the two new holes right here for the M pin. And remember this hex nut, it used to be over here on this one, but we used that screw and screwed it in there to make new threads for it. So that's going to be where the hex nut goes on when we reinstall it. So let's reinstall it. Okay, now we're ready for the fun part. We're going to make sure we put in the little plastic cap first. You don't have to press this all the way into that wooden hole there, but at least get it onto the rod first. And make sure your rod is, we got the labels, the new labels that we wrote onto it in the correct position. On this piece, we want to make sure that we have it the U-shaped going this direction here. And we're going to place that little portion in here. Now, if you pull up, it'll give you more range of motion for it to fit into that, onto the rod. A little trick, you got to jiggle it a little bit. Just get that hole fixed in just right. There we go. All right. Okay. Now, remember, we had another little black piece that we're going to put on here. That's going to allow this other mechanism to fit in there and rotate properly. And we're going to place it on the other side here so that it'll lock in really well with the the M pins. And then we want to get our little spring device here. Remember, it was over here before. Now we're moving it over to this side, and we're going to make sure that it goes into our new screw hole here that we labeled as the hex. So we put that in there like that, and then we slide through the other leg extension. And finally, it goes out the other side on the other hole. All right, now we're ready to place the pins back in. Okay, we're ready to put all the pins back in. All right, we're going to slide this in a little bit so we have better access to the little hole for the cotter pin. Place that in there. I guess needle nose pliers and bend it so it won't come out. There we go. Perfect. And get our M pins. Get that plastic cap in there. Okay. Place the long one in first. Then the short one. And once we got that lined up, we can bend Bend the tab on this one over. Bend it down so it doesn't come out of place. There we go. Looks good. Finally, we're going to get our hex nut in there. Remember, we used that, we rethreaded it with the ratchet before. Okay, now we're going to put that spring back onto the bar using our little gadget we built. First, we're going to get the tension off of it by extending the foot piece there. All right. So we get our hook put in the hook of the spring, and then get our little notches on our piece of wood there, and then we'll push that down on there, and there we go. Got clearance. Move a little hook there, and we're ready to put the lever back on. Okay, now we're ready to attach the lever back on. Now, one of the things I want you to know is that since the hole isn't perfectly aligned with the arm of this, when we reattach it, since it's actually a right-handed lever, it's going to be slightly up higher than it was on the other side. The other side, it was down like this. Now it's going to be up like that, and then we're going to open it up that way. So we're going to put the round piece there, and then put that in there. All right. Let's test it out. works good. There you go. You guys are all set.